Hey guys, welcome to the video on how I've set up my OBS streaming and some of my streaming settings. The reason I've chosen to do this, when I decided I was going to start streaming, I approached a few of the streamers and no one wanted to share settings. So I had to do a lot of research myself, a lot of reading articles and a lot of headache to get through to find stuff that works. So now I'm going to do a video so that you guys can all see exactly how the system works. Okay, on this you'll see it's my streaming software, it's OBS. I'll get to that shortly. I stream through YouTube, so I'm going to show you guys how my YouTube streaming looks. First of all, you're going to go to your YouTube channel, so you'll go to a page on YouTube, you'll log in. What you then want to do is you want to go to your channel, and then you can customize your channel. Everyone who has a YouTube profile used to have a channel. Now, depending on how your YouTube channel is set up, you'll get to a page like this. I've got mine with a couple of subscribers, things like that. So on that note, if you like the video, please subscribe. I'll do some more videos on gaming settings a bit later. For now, it's just the streaming settings and how to set up things like NVIDIA so that they don't affect your performance as much while streaming. So when you get to your channel, you will see that you have a channel like this. The first thing you want to do is click on the create on the top right corner and click go live. It will take you to a new page. You'll see I've got the stream I'm doing now and stream that is planned for tomorrow. You can schedule your streams in that, build up a bunch of schedules based on any of your previous streams, or create a new one, and it'll keep the settings. One of the big things is once you register, it does take 24 hours before you can start streaming. That's why I took you here first. So on your YouTube channel dashboard, they've got a bit of analytics. I'll do a separate video for that as well. For what you need to know now is your customization. You will see that you can create certain playlists, like I've got team play playlists for certain videos. All my uploads are listed. Any feature videos, so if you go to my YouTube channel, it would be the featured video there. You can set for if someone has subscribed, or if someone hasn't, depending on what they are, they will see which video. Under your branding, these are things like your profile picture, which you'll see here, my banner, which you'll see here, where I want my watermark for all of my videos. So that you can hit on it and hit subscribe. And then under the settings, now if you do need someone to help you with things like banners and that, I can do a comment on below, let me know, and I'll show you where I found all my stuff to assist me with spacing, sizing and things like that. And then if you need someone to do designs, I can refer you to a few people who might be able to help you if you don't know how to get some of your designs up. Okay, so under your settings, you've got your general. It's just currency is basically, should you want to actually turn it into a monetized channel, you would do that. Set your preferences here. I will show you where the monetization is and how it works shortly. Under your channel, you want to have your basic name, which you can change. Your advanced, if you're streaming, I would suggest select this option. No, set this channel not made for kids. Otherwise people can't subscribe. I made the mistake of my first channel hitting that once, and it took me weeks to find the setting to fix why people couldn't subscribe. And then how people gain, so if you want your videos to be featured on the live streams, you can use this. There is certain content that you need to use. By default, you can upload, create videos, add collaborators, and upload new videos. If you link the account to phone verification, so they use your cell phone number to basically link it to you, then you can upload videos more than 15 minutes, custom thumbnails, live stream, and all your content input and outputs, and all your content IDs are there. I would suggest doing it, even if you're just going to do a small channel. It does allow you to do bigger things. Missed this one. Under your default, you've got keywords. For example, I have keywords of gaming, my shenanigans, my name, Call of Duty, which is the game I stream the most, Battlefield, different levels. The channel is originally designed for basically roasting is why I used it. New Warzone, and as you can see, the rest of my tags. Your upload defaults is what you want your default title, your default tags. I've set a few based on what I currently am. I check them regularly. You'll see I have to have in my description for the song I played in the beginning, I link it back to no copyright sounds. It means I can use of their videos on YouTube specifically to be able to use it without getting a takedown notice. For those of you who don't know, a takedown notice is anything if you use a song or a clip of a video of someone who you don't have right to do. They can file a copyright takedown notice, and you've got usually 7 days to comply. If you can prove it's your own stuff, then you can submit an appeal, submit the info, and then you can get it revoked. If you don't comply, they take that video down. I use the licensing Creative Commons attribution, which means people can go and reuse parts of my video clips in their own videos as long as they tag me in the video. My category, because I do a lot of my stuff, is default gaming, and then this is just based off your settings on which country. On I am English, so I'm just going to use my English. I did set comments hold inappropriate comments for review. Now I have another admin who assists me with the comments if I can't get to it during a stream, just to prevent anyone from uploading things that might be offensive to other viewers. I've enabled users can rate the video. It's the thumbs up, thumbs down. You don't have to do it. It just works out that you can see if people like it or not. I like to know if you like it, so if you want, you can like it or dislike. Okay, this is self-explanatory. You can see on the screen. If you want to read, you can pause. It's just basically who can access the community and act on your behalf. And now this page is frozen. Of the YouTube pages is a little bit slow and a little bit temperamental, so should that happen, just hit the refresh. While I'm there, let me just double check. No viewers for this right now, but I'll explain that next. Okay, it is taking its sweet load time. So on that, that's basically your basic settings. It's community agreements and things like that that you'd end up using. Everything on YouTube has frozen. Anyone who has used any bit of Chrome would have seen this at any time. Let's wait for it and just go back to my channel on itself. While that's busy, I use StreamLab's OBS, so most people do use OBS for their streams. It is fairly helpful for streams like this, and you can take a look in my description. There is a link to the StreamLab's video or the StreamLab's website. Do have a link there. If you use that promo link and you opt to go Prime, which I'll explain shortly, you do get discount. You get $10 discount on your yearly subscription and $9 on a monthly subscription. That is by default applied should you sign up using that link. Okay, the channel has sorted itself. Let me just finish off here. I did promise monetization. How the monetization works is you need to have 4,000 hours streamed within a year, and you need to have 1,000 subscribers. It's why most of the guys you'll hear on their videos will say hit the subscribe button. It's so that we can reach our subscriber limit and our total stream limit to be able to benefit from some of the monetization perks. Okay, back to the software. Like I said, I use OBS from Streamlabs. If you use the link, you'll come to a screen similar to this. It is free to use. Some of the Prime stuff is there, like certain widgets you pay for, certain themes, but if you opt not to, you can just download the Streamlabs, run the install, then on install it will ask you to link it to an account. I've linked it to my YouTube account. We'll explain now how the dual linking goes, and they will give you a theme. I opted for one of the default themes. I like it, but if you've gone through and you want a different theme, here on the side is certain controls, so you can hit the themes. It will take a second or two to load, and then under the category just type free, you will see it will give you a ton of the stuff that is not listed as Prime, which is their paid stuff, which is overlays and that which you can use in game. You can click on them, add them, it will install it. On your OBS page, you'll see once you've just picked on a stream, they will have a few settings. My overlay gives me certain things by default. It's things I wanted, that's why I'm using it. You'll see there is a few names that they've given me that will enable certain things. I've set up one with a camera, one without a camera. My camera is currently out of commission, so you'll see this block here is where my camera would be, and if I click back it changes it by default back. If you want to do transitions in pre-build, you can use studio mode, which means you can select certain things which you're currently editing and what your live view is, and then you can hit transition, and it will only affect once you hit that transition button. Okay, now to what this video is mostly about. It is our settings. So when you open, you'll get general settings. I've just used the default. I haven't changed anything here. It does help that there's pretty much not much of importance from there. You can import if you have an OBS settings that you've already done, but I never had it. I started from here. The stream tab, this is for multiple streaming. So if you are Prime, you can link multiple streams to stream to multiple places at the same time. Please note that if you use the OBS stream, it is streaming 3 individual streams, so you'll need a stronger internet. I will explain to you guys a different way of doing it shortly. Under your output tab, this is where the settings that I use. I only need one audio track. I use the NVENC encoder. This is dependent on you. You'll see there's multiple encoders in there. Double check what your hardware supports. My graphics card, the NVIDIA GTX 1660 overclocked Asus Phoenix Edition, it has a built-in set of cores specifically designed for my encoding. I use the CBR rate controller with a bitrate of 6000. I have an article, it is linked in the description below. What is a good upload speed for streaming? This article will help you decide on what speed you need, what bitrate, and further. The bitrate itself I've set to 16,000, which is the minimum I would need if I wanted to stream in 1080p, and it's the reason we use those. The channels like Twitch and Facebook do have different bitstream or bitrates, but that is all explained in the article. The keyframe interval, I use 2. I would suggest you use the same. After a lot of battling and a lot of articles is what I was suggested, and it actually works. Profile is just basically how you want to set it: high performance, high quality, or just general high. GPU is if you have multiple GPUs in, you can set one for gaming or one for streaming. I only have one, that's why it's set to 0. And max B frames is set to 2 just because I have OCD, and if my keyframe is going to be 2, my maximum keyframes are going to be 2. Under your recording, please note, guys, this is a big thing that I've noticed. If you record, it affects your performance so much more than it affects if you stream. If you stream to a place like YouTube, it already gets placed there and you can download the video later to edit. So that's why I use it. I record to MP4 format, which does sorry about that. It does need a little bit more encoding. So those of you who are running on something like I am, for those who want to know, I use a i3 8100 with 16 gig RAM and a NVIDIA GeForce 1660 for my gaming and my streaming. It's all of one PC. I do have 2 solid states set up. I've also got a 1TB normal drive, and I have a network assisted storage device specifically for my recording files because they can take up a lot of space. You can set how many audio tracks you want to record on. I only use one. If you do set them up, you can set up your output on your videos to be different per audio track, specifically on your editing softwares, you can then isolate audio tracks and up the volume and down the volume. You have a rescale option. Basically, that allows you to drop, if you're gaming on 4K and you want to drop it to 1080, you can use the rescale, and then the rest of this matches my streaming. Under your audio tab, you can rename certain tracks. You can select your bitrate. YouTube needs a 128 bitrate, that's why I use them. There is a replay feature. This one has a replay buffer of 20 seconds, so if you hit the replay, it will record the last 20 seconds and restream it immediately to you guys to see. I don't use it that much, so I've just left it on the default 20. Your audio is just basically on your audio devices. That's fairly simple. Your video, your base canvas, I would set on what your screen is. Mine is a 1080 screen, so I'm using 1080. If you do not have a beefy enough PC or beefy enough internet to stream at a higher resolution, you can drop your resolution, and that way your output will be lower, you'll use less processing power, and you don't need as big high-speed internet. For rule of thumb, if you are streaming, and I'm going to go to the article that I referred to earlier, these are your Facebook recommendations. You can read the article further. Let me just find the part. If you're doing a 1080p to YouTube, you need about 7.4 meg bandwidth available. 720p at 60 frames, the same. 720p at 30 frames, you use less. Now you'll use a higher bitrate based on your frames, and so you'd be sending more information, and as such would be, you'd need a stronger internet connection. Let's quickly finish it off here. I've built in certain hotkeys to start and stop my recordings. I'm also going to build hotkeys on how to do my transitions, start the next transition, so you never have to go back to the software to go and run your transitions and that, which does help when you're gaming. I've left all the further settings pretty much the same. I haven't changed a thing. There is a remote control. This will allow people to, as I say, if you're streaming, get hold of your system. If you have the app on the phone and you're on the same network, you can do transitions from your phone. And then you can install a virtual webcam, which I don't need, and I don't use the gaming overlay, but you can enable it. Okay, once you've logged in, I'm now doubling back, you'll have linked it to a certain profile if you're not Prime. Mine was YouTube. Then they automatically pull through things from your YouTube subscribers based on the theme you have. Mine shows the latest subscriber, the top donations, and the new donations, as well as my social media on top. Then when you get to a screen like this and you're streaming, you can see your live chat if there's anyone. I don't have anyone in the live chat right now, so there's no one sending messages for me to read and reply to. If you want to edit your content, I've got things like my overlay already supported on all my things. You can enable and disable any of the stuff on your overlay just by hitting the I. I created an AV which has all of my inputs, for example my audio, my display, which you can turn on and off, your audio output. Use the audio output, otherwise you won't be hearing the game sound and you won't be hearing people on TeamSpeak and that. And then I've got a different one set up for when I play COD. If I enable it, which it doesn't enable now, it will then create another overlay over my screen specifically for my streams. To add or remove any of the sources, you just click the plus button. You can select your images, your browser source, pretty much any of these sources. They're fairly simple to use and fairly self-explanatory. Then you have certain widgets that specifically help. My widgets I use is the overlay. On one of my other streams, let me just show you here on studio mode. It is intermission. If I use it, it would have my camera there and the live stream chat, but I have them enabled. I don't use them, but they are there. On your streams, let's just go, if you download the overlays, you do get things like your supported media. These are all editable so that you can type the right information in Let me just show you how one of them works. So you can type the info in and it affects it to your live stream. So my social media, if I had to go and change, let's do my Facebook, and I change it to System Shenanigans 2. It would update it to my info, and then if I drag this over to my current screen, it would change it immediately. As you can see, it's already on System Shenanigans 2. I'm just going to change it back because that is not who I am on Facebook. And then you can change it. It edits in live time so that you guys can see. Your widgets automatically pull through if you've enabled them and you are logged into the correct sites. Okay, now I use YouTube. I've given you the base loadout here. When you go to Streamlabs, you can go to your dashboard. This is your Streamlabs dashboard. You get it immediately once you register. Your dashboard gives you breakdowns on how many subscribers, how to set up merch stores, Lucra, which is the pay-per streaming setup, and your custom pages. When you register with Streamlabs, it gives you a tip page. I'm going to show you actually how mine looks on the editor. It pretty much gives you how the layout will look. I can't edit it because I'm not Prime. I'm not getting anything out of it with them, but you can edit it if you do go Prime. It will then allow you to put things like a merch store, and people can give donation messages. It's fairly self-explanatory. It will then also, let me just go back to the dashboard. On your monetization, you can see your donation history for anyone who has donated. Now, on my OBS, you will have seen I've got a top donation button and recent donation. It will pull the info from here. So if you're going to suggest people to go to donate, I would suggest you use Streamlabs. They don't take really much. I just personally use them, and it links through to the Streamlabs OBS. Now there's multiple platforms like Buy Me a Cup of Coffee, there's Patreon. All of those do take some money out of it. Basically it's just the administration fee, but it is there for you to use. Now for those of you who have been hanging on for multiple streams, you can do a multiple stream through Streamlabs if you do the premium. Which allow you to connect Facebook, Twitch, all of that, and you can stream directly to them, but you need to have the OBS now or the Prime enabled. Now the issue I have with them is it streams 3 times, doesn't just stream once. So I use multi-stream. Restream multi-stream on their free platform gives you quite a few places you can stream. Let me just give you a rundown. You can take a look. Other than Facebook pages, which you need to buy a premium account, you can use stream on private pages. You can stream to Zoom, OBS, Twitch, as many as you want for free, but you can't stream to 2 different Facebook pages, and you can't stream to 2 different YouTube channels or 2 different things without the premium. And they do put the Restream branding. Now if you're doing it and you're just getting up and going, great, you can take a look at them. They have a ton of things free. You can look at their pricing, or you can register. You can see I linked them in the description below as well. Once you register with them, you add your channels. Let me go, for example, Facebook Live. I would then just hit connect. It would connect it to my Facebook. I'm not showing you guys my Facebook. That is for me. I've added Twitch and YouTube. So if I set up, then you have the physical channels that you can use, and you can then stream to your own customized RTMP settings. I'm not showing you my key, as again, just for privacy. Then you stream to that, and they restream it to YouTube and Twitch. They also do have certain bots with the premium that if you do stream to YouTube and Twitch and Facebook all at the same time, your chat combines them all so you can see them all without having to jump between channels. Let me just quickly take a look here. I think I might still have old OBS installed. I'm just going to use it to show you guys how the RTMP settings work. Okay, for those who use OBS, I haven't used it in years, so I would honestly suggest use Restream. They are OBS compatible, they are OBS partner, so it's not that you're going to get anything less, you just get more, and it's what OBS supports. Your settings are pretty much the same. Now, what I couldn't show you on Streamlabs because I'm streaming is these settings. Now, Restream is enabled with them, so you can connect to your Restream account, or you can do a custom. Then you do the server like it has it listed here. You'd copy it, and then you'd paste it, and then you get a server key. Now, I'm going to copy it, but I'm not going to paste it. You'd copy, and then you'd paste it under the stream key, and then it would stream to that server under your permission, and it would be running as normal. But most of the things like Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, things like that are already here. You'll see there's quite a few places you can stream to, and they will help you stream immediately. And that is it for the streaming settings when it comes to the physical settings. For NVIDIA players, streaming does eat into your processing power, so I'm going to quickly just give you a quick breakdown of my 3D settings. I have them set globally. What applies to one applies to all. It just gives you a performance boost, but it will cut down in some of your quality. So unless you have a very beefy machine, you are going to lose some quality if you're doing some streams, or you will need to stream to use a streaming device called a HDMI to USB capture card. Then you would lay it from your graphics card, from that to your secondary PC that's dedicated for streaming, and then a second output for your screen. I will do a separate video on that once I have mine, so I can show you guys how it looks. I'll record it from my phone, show you guys how the features work, how you would wire it, and how you'd set it up. Okay, so for what I use sharpening off. It's just because it's the default setting. I haven't had a need for it. Ambient occlusion is set to off. Reason being, I've realized if you turn it off, it increases your performance. Anisotropic filtering, same reason. FXAA, anti-aliasing, all of them are off. The background max frame rate, you can set your max frame rate of games. In NVIDIA, I set them per game because certain games like Battlefield 4, I reach upwards of 500 frames. But when I play COD, I reach at best 100 frames, so I've capped it just for my performance settings. Use all your CUDA cores. DSR is basically for your extra game quality. It smooths the image down. I don't use it. It affects the performance. Low latency mode. This is for those of you who have G-Sync and V-Sync. I do not use either of them. I know I get screen tearing. I know I'm going to be butchered for it because some people like the perfect game. I'm after the performance, and that eats performance. I will not be using it. Your max frame rate we've already dealt with. For your background, this is just for your front applications. Multi-frame samplings also off for performance. Your OpenGL rendering GPU, if you have multiple GPUs, you can select which one you'd want to use. Power management, please note, if you select maximum performance like I have, and you do not have enough power on your power supply, your PC will constantly restart. Don't do it. So make sure that your power supply is big enough for it. Cache shading I use off, reason being it helps the load times in the games. and all of us want to be the first one in the round. One of us see the first thing we see needs to be ahead of everyone else, and that does help with your shaders because you're not loading it constantly. Textures off, allow native is allowed. They allow us for the high performance. Quality is set to high performance. You can set it to high quality or performance, your choice. Texture filtering is on for better performance and minimal loss. Thread optimization is off. It was set to auto. That would then turn it on or off. The on setting is for the newer games. I turn it off because I do play some of my older games and it starts affecting them. Triple buffering, self-explanatory, is also off. VSync because I don't like it. I've turned it off. Big thing to use. Pre-rendered frames. You can set your pre-rendered frames to let your 3D app decide, or up to 4 pre-rendered frames. I set it to 1. It's a setting that a guy helped me with years ago when I was playing on a very low quality PC, and it helps performance drastically in game, and more performance in game means more performance you can use for streaming. See why I'm doing this. And virtual reality, I don't use virtual reality, so it's not applicable. And then this is just a bonus tip. Digital vibrance is set to default. If you up your digital vibrance in game, you see a slight bit more. The colors in that are something to get used to, but it does help you see certain things like your yellows and oranges and reds a bit easier. For those of you who are playing games that you need to see your small guys in the middle of nowhere. So those covers pretty much my stream on how all my settings work. It was supposed to be a 15-minute stream. It is now turned into a half-an-hour stream. But if you have any specific settings or you're battling coming right, leave a comment. I check my comments daily, and if you've got problems, I can help you through OBS one day, and we can take a walkthrough on some of your custom settings, and I can try and help you. Just on a side note, these are all streams, and a disclaimer, these are all streams for my PC. They're not necessarily going to work on your PC, but they are a very good starting point to fine-tune to something that you can work with. So if you like the video, please hit the like button. It will help a lot. I can't see who liked, but I can see who subscribed. So if you said subscribe, I will give you guys a shout out to the next set of all the subscribers to say thank you for the subscriptions for the past bit. Any of the links like I discussed are in the description below, and there is a donation button. If you found this helpful and you're feeling a bit generous, you can hit the donation button. You can go and donate at any time. Basically, the donation button is really at this point only going to enable me to use some of the more premium features on OBS because I'm a bit broke, which will allow me to then add more things and make the videos look even better. And then I can do a video on how all the premium features work. But that's for a later video. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your day and enjoy.